Hey everybody, we're back for part 2 of Moments in Time, Creative Junk Journal Folio by Papercraftsocials. So this is literally a bucket list journal. Last time we made the whole build out, but we have not added any of the accessories. So we have all the fun stuff. Now first off, something I'm not going to do yet, and I may not do at all. Right above the barn door, if you want to, you can punch some holes and tie it closed. That is completely up to you. I may decide to do that later, but right now, I'm here to decorate. I'll worry about adding ribbons later besides for my pink ones that we had to add while we were going. So I just have everything over here in a big pile. I was smart and just dumped it out on the table. I have not separated it at all. And normally I would do this ahead of time with y'all. But I thought, why not do a little bit different today? So y'all can have an idea of how things go together. And how I group things if y'all ever watch future videos. Sometimes they will be grouped together already before you cut, so you'll know they'll go something like that. They have numbers, you know they go together. Of course, and stuff like that. I'm just kind of grabbing and grouping. These will all go together, and these will make sense here in a few. I know they probably don't right now. Again, these go together here. And then you have these that I will be using in a different spot too. But first, I'm just going to gather everything up. The decorating parts that I'm not going to need, I am going to set off to the side. And the parts that I do need, which I forgot to grab one component for this. Shame on me. You can use a Velcro dot if you have one. I don't have one on my hand right now. I'm not going to go hunt for it. Normally I'd already thought about it and had it, but today I did it. So this, even though it's a decorative joint part, we're going to actually need it because we're going to be gluing it down. Same with this one here. So I'm not putting them as far away. These all will make sense with the bucket list information in a little bit. So even though I'm not to this yet, this one's just a card. You fold, and you can put wherever you want. We'll make that, it's up to you on that one. I just went ahead and do that before I forget, because sometimes I forget to show y'all and to fold things off screen. Okay. Everything is kind of grouped where I want them. So first things first, we're going to work with these 3 pieces here. And there's 6 pieces total in that. And there's a reason for that. I'm going to be gluing them. And I'm going to be then setting them to the side. I'm also going to do the envelope at the same time. And there goes my pup again. So if y'all are not familiar, when I go live, they decide they need to growl or bark or so forth. It's just live. So I'm going to just fold this envelope up, get it glued. And then I have different type clips I have randomly gathered up over time next to me that I use to hold to let my glue sit. So for this, I'm using a 5-point tip glue stick, and I'm using precision craft glue, which is from Barely Art. The reason why I glue these first is so that they have time to set before I need them. Okay, I have not glued the envelope yet. Another option you can do is if you want to, you could poke a couple holes and tie it with ribbon, but I'm not going to do that. When I get to it, I will get my Velcro and add it. So with Fairly Card, I always keep it pin in my cap so it does not dry out. Oh, I'm off screen. I'm just doing a small line on each side here to create our envelope. Press that down. Grab a clip for each side. Like I said, my clips come from all over the place, so I can't tell you where one's came from versus another. So I know I've got some from Walmart, craft stores, and so forth. So it is really where you find, you just buy. So these are pockets. So we're just going to be gluing the outside edges, not the tops, on all 3 of these. Then we're going to clamp them down and let them dry as well. The glue I use, and I am off screen on this because it's going to be a little easier for me to do. I apologize. Now I'm always a perfect line, glue by glued on each side, and just going to flip it down. And since I'm actually going to be able to lay these flat, I'm not going to worry about having them clipped. But some things like that one where I was trying to pop up, it's better to clip them. So that's something you watch out for. When I'm working and gluing these in, I will be clipping. I can tell you that now. But right now I have enough flat surfaces available that I can lay these 3 in different locations and I don't have to use a clip. So some clips do leave marks, others do not. I have learned. So some crafters will take paper and put in between so the marks get on that paper instead of their project. Some use chipboard, it's all different types of things. Now, something I forgot to say in the first video and I'm not doing is you can ink everything. I'm not inking any of it, so just so y'all know. We are actually going to flip and do this back part here first. So we have these 2 big long ones with flowers on them. They are literally designed to lay on the back. This on my video I talked about number 1 I put in the wrong spot, and this time they're going in the correct spot. So we're just going to do the sides and let them sit down for a few minutes. While we do that, I'm going to fold some of the waterfall folio, not folio, well they're kind of a folio top thing, where you can put notes and other stuff on, and the journal part one as well, and get those prepped. So we can just dive right in and start gluing inside when these dry. I got a little bit wobbly there, but glue moves a little bit, thankfully. So. Time I get done with the next parts, which is parts I'm going to work with next anyway, this will be dry and we can open up and start. I'm actually going to start from the very middle and work my way out. I debated about starting from out, working my way in, but I decided to start from the middle and work my way out. Which is going to be a little bit different, but that's okay. So first thing first, I'm going to grab these 4 folios that we're going to be using pretty quickly. You notice this one's bigger than these. So we're going to fold all of these and then I'm going to show you what we're going to be doing with them. This one you'll need the glue stick or the tape runner again. And yes, I'm going to get as good crease as I can. And I'm going to grab my older one that I made before I went live with y'all. And get this going. Got all that folded. I'm going to set them off to the side. So right now I have them folded where they're all stacked together. And there's a reason for that. So we're pulling out my old one. Like I said, I glued wrong. I ended up gluing the ones that should have been on the back. And put these on the inside would have worked a lot better. And that's why we did it correctly this time immediately. But right now I'm working on prep work before we start from the middle out. So this right here, as you can see, I'm going to be reflipping all the pink and gluing on the back of each one of these so it can lay flat and glue down like that. So that one stays perfectly like it is. All of these, I folded one way. Now I'm folding the other way. And they're going to be literally glued on top of each other. In here like that. So it'll take a couple minutes to do, and this is one reason I'm pre-prepping this so it can just sit to the side after we get done. For this I'm going to use my tape runner, and I hope I have enough tape, otherwise I'm going to have fun. I need to order some more again. Just need to make sure I put that on my to-do list later. You could also, this is really good if you have double-sided tape to use on this one. Just for this one particular project. If you don't have the tape runner. Glue will work just fine. It just line it up to your best of your ability. Press down and fold. And make sure that folds still too. You're just going to do that over and over. I had to double check to make sure I was putting the glue on the right side again. We're putting it on the white, not the pink like we normally do. I got my glue off a little bit, so I rubbed it. So it won't be as hopefully sticky. And you're just going to do the exact same thing. You're going to line this up to your best of your ability on top, right on the seam, just like that one. And the good thing about glue, unlike double-sided tape, the glue runner I can rub off quickly if I make a mistake, which is helpful. Now let's get this last one in. Okay. Now, I didn't, but this is up to you. You can glue it where that does not show, or you can leave it as is like I will be doing. Excuse me. Okay. This has enough time to set. Let's jump right on in to the middle and let's work our way out. Since I have so many components I'm working on, I'm first going to grab two of my clips, just to hold some of them out of the way. Makes it a little easier. We're going to flip all the way out. So we've been talking about making a bucket list this entire time. So we have our bucket right here that's going to literally go in the middle. And then you're going to take these style pages and they will go right in here after you're right on your list. So we're literally going to glue, I have two options for you. You could cut right here the lip carefully, glue that part down, and then let it slide in. For this video purposes, I'm just gluing the sides because I'm not going to go as creative on this one. But if I had the time, I would probably take the extra mile and glue that lip. So I got the edges glued, and I'm just literally going to put it right here in the middle. So that gets to sit. Even though it's just got set, I'm going to hand glue the bucket list on it so I don't forget it. Because let's face it, I would forget. So, and the bucket list goes right there. So I'm going to continue using my glue stick for a minute so we have the middle open. So on each of these flower sides, I'm taking these light things I've been written and I'm going to glue them on on each side. On top and bottom, I'm taking the cow hide side folders and going to glue those on as well. And then we will move to the inside. And then we'll go through and pick out our stamps and other decorating stuff that we want to use after we get everything, all the components done. I did not pull out my ribbon for the different tags, but I'm seeing whites, pinks, and I'm thinking pull some fun yellows or maybe blue to go in with this to add a little bit more color palettes to this. And I'm also going to go through my collection and look through stickers and see what else fun things could go on this. I may make a 2026, since this is at the time of my filming, it is 2026, and make this a 2026 bucket list of the different things I want to do in 2026. You know, it gives you a couple different ideas of what you can do with this. Make a bucket list for every year. It might be a fun thing to do. I do know I do bubble charts for every year, but that has more to do with my business than personal. So I might turn one of these into my 2026 bucket list. Which bucket list can be so many different things. You can use them as goals that you want to do. Say you want to learn to row a boat, which I really don't know how to do, so that's why I threw it out there. No, it's not something I really want to do either, but it was the first thing that came to my mind. So we're gluing the sides again to make this component where it goes. And so that's what I'm thinking about, maybe doing a bucket list. Maybe put your goals of maybe eating, trying new foods every year. Or every month or something like that. Which, if y'all have ever met me in person, sometimes I get asked at shows, well, where have you ate at? So I give recommendations. I also recommend what I've tried new. So yes, you can go to these restaurants that, sorry, I'm hitting the table and it's shaking. And try new things if you want to, things like that. Put down a restaurant that you really like to go to, whether it has to have reservations or not, so you can encourage yourself to make those reservations. That is all I really think about bucket lists. To remind yourself, hey, I want to do this. And so I'll get to it and put it off to the side. Okay, while these are clipped and drying, I'm going to flip and work right here. So that notebook we kind of just created is literally just going to be glued right on here, just like that. I'm going to use both tape runner and liquid glue to give it the best chance to stay stuck down, as always. Actually, I may just do my tape runner and see if it will hold first, because sometimes it seems to have a better hold. Just going to line it up and press it down, fold it down. So it's not quite on that, so it makes it a little easier to open. So I did leave a small gap. Okay, that one's done. And on this side, I'm going to take one of these two folios, tabs I still have. I think I'm going to do that one. And then do this one on top in just a minute. Let's give the glue just a minute longer before I fold. While I'm waiting for that glue to fold, I'm going to pull I pulled a little, so glue ran out and it pulled a little of the paper. Luckily you cannot tell, but that is something I always worry about when I clip things, is it getting stuck. That's why I don't normally use these. I normally use the binder clips, but I thought, well, with this one being enveloped, that might be a better idea. Well, lesson learned. Stick with what you know. Okay. Alright, I think I'm going to put this one right here. So let's go ahead and get that one glued and I'll unglue the other two, unclip the other two. They should have enough time to glue now. And then we'll go from there. Since that's laying down, I'm not going to worry about clipping it unless it starts looking like it's going to slide. I'm hoping it won't. Okay. I'm going to put this one on top first, and then we'll do the top one after that. Because this one, I'm literally just going to glue my envelope right there. I'm pushing it slightly down, so if I want to put something on top, I can. Because sometimes I like to write things on top of where I put an envelope, so remind me what's in them. Sometimes I'll write it on the envelope. And even though this is a lot more clean, this also could be a bucket list junk journal, which is what I know it's called, but I like calling these memory keepers. Okay. So normally I put that right in the middle. This time I did not because I have an idea for up here later. It may or may not work, and you might get to see it in a decorated up video later in time, but right now I'm not going to prioritize digging out my pins and doing all that, because that's what I'd be doing if I did. And I'm going to put this one right here. And I nearly grabbed the wrong container. I nearly put my glue stick on this instead of my liquid glue, which would have made it just a decorative piece instead of a functional decorative piece. And we're just going to glue that right there. Okay. So you remember those components that we were gluing and we put off to the side? So the two-sided envelope type style. Well, on the inside of the barn doors is where I put mine, and that's where I'm going to be putting the two styles again. I'm going to put one of them here all the way up against the edge so I can make sure it will close. Same on this one. And you just look for that seam to make sure it fits right before you glue. And these I'll be grabbing some clips again and gluing them that way. We're doing the sides and the bottom, but not the top. Now, if you don't want these, you don't have to put them here. You can make notes or anything else. I'm just showing you how well I use them, and hopefully giving y'all some ideas. This one on this side here, that's kind of off screen. So we're going to glue that right there. And I'm just going to put a single clip to make sure it does not slide. And then I'm seeing another spot I'm going to throw a clip because it's not wanting to stick down there. There we go. So while those sit, before we do two more areas, I'm going to have to wiggle around. I apologize for that, because I know that also makes the screen and everything else move. I'm going to pull this to the waterfall numbers to the side. I want to get those in order and go ahead and get those folded down, because that will be what we'll be working with next. But also, I was going to take a second and show y'all. So some of these tags have hole punches in them. Just grab whatever hole punch you want. I have mine here. You can decide if you want to use a 1/8 or 3/16. This one is a perfect hole for a 3/16 on this cutter. Put some ribbon on it, maybe some twine on it. I may actually dig out my twine for this one. That might add some extra coloring. I have colored twine. I'll have to think on what I'm going to use. But see, I have so much different colors of twine that I can go through and make a decision on what I want to use. But right now, that is not a priority. Priority is our next part we're working on. So we're just going to come and fold all the pink tabs down real quick and keep these in order at the same time. If I can pick them up. There we go. So I just... In waterfall, we always start with number 1, but when I'm folding, I start with number 7. So I literally stack them back on top of each other. Now I'll just slide it like that underneath so it's... And this is why I like a tool. You can also use the back of your scissors or other things as well to help fold the lines. If you don't have a metal ruler, that would be good too. If you're in any of my classes, you'll have both a plastic version of this, a ruler, and some other options to use. Let me pull this. Alright, now those are all folded. You can kind of see the waterfall. Now I'm going to pull mine that I had previously done first to show you. Now remember, I put these in the wrong spot, not thinking. If you look, I did not put them all right on top of each other. I left like half a gap for each tab to make it fold and make the waterfall a little bit better. So that is what we will be doing with these. Let me grab this. Get these unclipped. And we will so now before we do the next step, if you want to put the ribbon on in here, now would be the time to go ahead and hole punch. I would use a 1/8 inch hole punch and make it very small. Probably on one of these lines in between these boards right here, and do a small ribbon if it was me. I have not decided if I'm going to do that or not. That will be something you can choose for yourself. So before we do the waterfall, because it's going to take some time, I'm going to grab my last hidden pocket, Go ahead and make sure it fits where I want it. Glue it down, clamp it down so I don't have to worry about it while I'm working over on the other side. So it'll already be set to go. And I can go through my decorated pieces and decide what I want to put on anywhere. So let's tuck that down and get some clips on here. because I know I'm going to be wiggling this around. I want to make sure it has a good hold in a couple spots. So if I inked this, I probably would have used a reddish brown or brown on here to bring out colors, but I chose not to ink this one because I wanted y'all to think about what y'all want to do for your own collection and not just follow my lead. But I also wanted to give you an idea of how to use everything in this journal. Is why I went ahead and did all that. So you can glue stick these, you can double side tape them, and I'm praying my tape runner holds out, or I'm going to have to go use a glue stick because I did not grab my double sided tape like I said I would earlier. And I'm going to make sure that is on my to-do list to buy. So I'm putting that I'm pulling up real quick to make sure I like where it's at. I can actually move over just a teeny tiny bit and put it right there. Okay. And now we're just going to go down. And then, besides for decorating it how you want, after you get the waterfall done, it is done. Buying ribbons, color code stuff, add to it. But here, you're going to see, I don't know how well it's going to show. I'm leaving about going halfway down this tab here. And lining up to my best of my ability. And then putting number 2 down. I'll continue doing that till I have all 7 of them down. And that is how I do the waterfalls. And if I don't like it, thankfully this is a little bit, gives me a one-time change. Like that one's going to be a little bit angled. I don't like that. So I'm trying to fix the angle. Okay, there we go. And you just keep going until you have it all done. I would love to know what your favorite feature so far on this is. And if y'all are going to do a 1-year bucket list at all, or turn into something else, or something else entirely. You can tell I did not get that one quite lined up as well. But it's already too glued down. That's fine. I'm not going to force it up. I'm just going to put this one a little higher to counteract where I messed up. Okay, one more. And then you can decorate how you want. I'll show you a couple things I plan to do with decor before I do call it quits. But basically, it is now completely up to you on how you want this done. Because it is all been glued. Besides the cards you can use. Things like that. So you can either glue these on your tags or whatnot. But I have a couple ideas on a couple of these. So, like this right here, could put a word there instead of bucket. Let's use a different type of word, but that gives you an idea. Let's get my clips off so they're not in the way. You can either hole punch these without the hole punch or leave them as is. That's also up to you. So, a couple ideas for the extra bucket list. You can put it on the outside, like have it hanging off like this, bucket list here. Maybe 2026 there if you do a inside, or you can flip it over and do it inside where you have right 2026 and have the bucket list there. It's all up to your own imagination. But something I'm going to do is come out to these little journal pages, pick one of my things, and decide what I want and glue it in a little bit. And then I'm just going to go from there and find things that correspond good with this. And glue it. And put them in where I want to. So now, take your own imagination, run with it. I hope y'all enjoyed this. And I hope y'all come back for more. If y'all have any questions, drop them in the comments. Bye, everybody.